Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to my presentation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bryant Atencia, an educator from the College of Arts and Science at the Laguna State Polytechnic University, Los Baños Campus, Philippines. I'm here to present my topic, which is very near to my heart: podcasting in the new normal. The COVID-19 pandemic reshaped education globally. This pandemic affected everyone's life, especially for teachers like us, where it introduced digital learning, an essential part of our teaching methodology during that time. We've been introduced to different approach, teaching using online presentations through PowerPoint and Canva, the use of videos through YouTube. But podcasting, it emerged as a flexible and accessible educational tool. Let us know first, what is podcasting? Podcasting is a digital audio file made available on the internet, often available as a series, download, or stream. It can be teacher created, just like my own inspiring E-ducators, and student generated, where my former student and now an educator, Mr. Romel Leron, created CTE Talks, the podcast edition. So, podcasting in the context of education, it complements remote and blended learning. As we all know, we're doing remote learning during the pandemic. We're teaching our dear students at the comfort of our home. So do I. And blended learning, where we use the traditional approach and the 21st century technology. It encourages asynchronous, on-demand learning. And it is ideal for both basic education and teacher education. As you can see here, I have used podcasting for basic education, like one of my online students from India, Abhishek Chaudhry. So do as teacher education, with the help of one of the presenters here, Dr. Alessa Durgarian, and during one of the webinars that I have been participating during the pandemic and up until now. So what are the benefits of podcasting in the new normal? It enhances student engagement. During that time, students could not see their classmates face to face. But with the help of online learning, with the help of podcasts, it made them comfortable in sharing what's on their mind, topics that are near to their heart. It also supports self-paced learning. One of the programs that I have been participating during the pandemic is the Global Educators Resource Bank, where we have been taught to use different materials, different tools, just like the one I'm using during my podcasting. And it encourages differentiated learning. Some of us are comfortable using video tools. Some are kind of shy and would just like to use their beautiful voices. And the good thing with this is that it's accessible via smartphones and low bandwidth devices. How can podcasts be used through real world applications? I've used podcasts for lectures, interviews, storytelling, and reviews. One example is my other podcast, which is MovieCast, where I interview students from around the globe, sharing their favorite movie, how it affected their lives, and how it can affect others' lives. So one of my interviewee will be teacher Alice student, Mr. Gore Agmerian. During this time, he's still in grade 10. And now, I think he is in a university level. So I've interviewed Gore, and he shared his favorite movie, which is Harry Potter. And I created a title that is kind of catchy, Gore the Potter. So what are the pedagogical considerations during podcasts? It aligns the content with the learning outcome. As an educator, we want our students to build their confidence. At the same time, learning, enhancing their skills. As an English teacher, my target is to enhance their 4 macro skills: speaking, listening, reading, and the most important, okay, the learning experience. So the use of voice, tone, pacing, and storytelling for impact has also been considered. Through podcasts, it builds their voice, their tone, their pacing, and their ability to tell a story to themselves and to others. And it also integrates interactive tasks like reflection, questions. So what are some of the technical considerations? Basic tools. I've been using different devices: desktop, laptop, ordinary microphones, condenser microphones, recording softwares like Anchor, now Spotify for podcasters. And I've used different platforms, including Spotify, where Moviecast and Inspiring E-ducators is uploaded, Google Podcasts, and different school LMS, such as Google Classroom. And at the same time, I've been considering the audio quality, something that is good to the ear, something that all my listeners can adapt to, the background noises. Because if you have background noise in your podcast, who would like to listen to a discussion that has a noise? And of course, the file size, something that can be downloaded and would fit our devices. So what are the challenges and limitations that I have encountered? Limited access to devices or internet. Not all has the capability to connect to the internet immediately. That is why podcasting has been the answer to that question, because you can download it, the file is too small, you can listen to it anytime, anywhere. Need for technical training for teachers. That is why I'm here. I am trained to train learners and educators on how to use podcasts. And also, passive consumption without guided tasks. It is difficult to learn with just an audio instruction. Sometimes learners would be bored if they would just listen. But the beauty of listening is that it targets the mind. Together, podcasts would help us target the least practiced skill of most of our students, the listening. So what is the role of future educators when it comes to podcasting? It must be equipped with podcast creation skills. That is why training has been given during the pandemic and up until now on how to create an effective podcast. Podcasts can be integrated into lesson delivery. Not all the time visual presentation, the use of PowerPoint, the use of Canva, the traditional presentation, video recording, role play. Students would get bored doing those kinds of activities. That is why podcasting has been introduced. And it encouraged students to produce their own educational content. Creativity. That is what we target. The creativity of our students. Let them apply what's on their mind through this platform. So, to conclude my discussion, podcasting is sustainable. It can target all the goals that we have in mind. Most especially nowadays, SDG has been applied and integrated to most education around the globe. It is inclusive. It can be done individually, as a group, small groups, big groups, small schools, big schools. And it is effective for post-pandemic education. Even now that the pandemic has been at the back of our minds, podcasting has been used and consistently targeting everyone. So let's amplify learning one episode at a time. And if you're interested to listen, you can check out my podcast, Inspiring Educators, through Spotify and the different platforms here. Okay? And my other podcast, which is Moviecast. I'll be sharing the links in the chat box. And with that, thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope I inspired each and everyone here. Till next time, have a wonderful day ahead.